Let's move on over to the next section here, which is around LFG. And I'm going to bring up a man on the stage who's part man, part myth. It is, of course, the Ladykilla himself, Soju. Soju, how you feeling and what is happening with LFG these days?
GM, everybody. So we've been working very hard on the LFG Launchpad to sort of improve it and continue to be the best place for people to launch tokens on-chain. And we've incorporated a lot of learnings that we've had since the past 3 or 4 launches. So I'm very happy today to come here to unveil 4 different upgrades that we made to the LFG platform, and you'll be able to interact with all these upgrades over the next 2 or 3 launches. So the first upgrade is the Alpha Vault is now in the UI. In the past, we built this thing called the Alpha Vault in partnership with the Meteora team to sort of help people swap for tokens, be the first one to swap, but in exchange you will have vesting. We tried this with Uproar, but right now you'll be able to view information about the Alpha Vault, claim your tokens, and be able to deposit easily from the LFG page, because we want to push this forward and help the community use it better. So that's the biggest improvement, and I think that this will help reassure the community that we are looking out for these users, looking out for people who is long-term aligned with the Alpha Vault.
So instead of having to go to Meteora, you do it right there within the LFG website itself, yeah?
You still have to go to Meteora to actually put your money in because the program is on Meteora. But right now you'll be able to see a summary of the Alpha Vault, information about it, how many tokens can you claim and stuff like that from the LFG site. So it's a lot more visible and understandable. Yeah, so second one is minimum output. So we all know that when tokens launch, markets are crazy, volatile, liquidity is low. So min output mode is think of it as Slippage Reimagined. So in the past, you would oh, I want to buy $10 worth of jup, and they'll tell you that okay, you'll receive 0.9 jup, and then you have slippage 10%, you might get 0.81 jup instead, which is 10% lower. In minimum output mode, all you have to do is specify the minimum amount of tokens you are willing to receive and how much tokens you are willing to spend. And then Jupiter will optimize for you and try to get as many tokens as you can. You basically get whatever you specify or better. So you might see in minimum output mode, you might see 100 tokens, that you might receive 100 cup tokens, but somehow maybe we can get 110 for you instead of 100. That's a very simplified example, yeah. And the rest of the updates comes in the airdrop. FP will probably talk more about it, but the earnest's airdrop will now be vested. So we now support vesting tokens in airdrops on the Jupiter side. So right now, if you want to launch, if let's say another team wants to do an airdrop, you can actually vest linearly, which means that you can claim vesting for airdrop. Basically means that you can't claim the full amount upfront, but you claim it over time from the start to end date. So right now this functionality is enabled on the LFG platform as well. Projects can decide whether they want to use it or not. I am not saying that every project will use it, so we will see what the projects want. And I think a pretty exciting thing is dynamic airdrop. So I think if people have been watching the Drift and Zeta launches, they had this thing where if you waited a while and then you'll be able to claim the airdrop, but with a bonus, 100% bonus if you claim 6 hours later. We now support this on LFG as well. So do look forward to teams looking at using this dynamic airdrop, adding a time period, let's say a day, 2 weeks, 6 hours, even 1 hour. You will now be able to view on the UI whether there's a bonus if you wait and receive the bonus if necessary.
Pretty fantastic. So Alpha Vault in the UI, mini output for easier transactions or more kind of predictable transactions here, airdrop vesting that teams can turn on if they'd like to, and then dynamic airdrops from the team as well.
One thing I want to add is that our vision for LFG is to become this super customizer platform where you can plug and play different components. So if a team comes to us, it's okay, I want to do dynamic airdrop to these addresses, vesting to that addresses, combination of DRMM with an Alpha Vault and a dynamic pool. The goal for us is to really keep pushing the meta forward of launching a token on-chain. And we believe that the first step of doing so is to provide the teams with the suite of products that they need to make their launch a success. So we are pushing towards that along with the community.
Small steps towards perfection, folks. That is the name of the game.